Welcome folks to another episode of Blinkers Off, and welcome to our Brisbane, Melbourne and Adelaide viewers. And this week it is the Caloundra Cup up on Sunshine Coast State. A great race, and joining me is the three-time winner of that race, three-time Sydney Premiership winning jockey and Brisbane Premiership winning jockey, Larry Cassidy. And welcome, Larry.
Thanks, Jess.
Now you've won the race three times, the Caloundra Cup. How do you fancy your chances this week?
Yeah, I'm riding Verdant this week. He was a little bit disappointing last week. He actually travelled up and looked like I thought he was going to win coming to the turn, but just lacked a little bit of finish in the straight. But you never know, the 2400 bigger track, just may suit him. So let's hope it can be number 4.
Well, let's hope so. See if you can make it number 4. And also joining us is our usual suspect, big-time footy coach and form analyst, also a bit of a Shakespeare expert, Ben Perkins. Welcome, Ben.
Jesse, how are you?
Oh, I'm waiting for that. How out thou?
No, I'm going to go. I'll go Roman tonight.
I had one for you, but some are born great, some achieve greatness, and some have greatness thrust upon them.
That's rocks and eggs and tomatoes.
Now that's what I want. I want loads of money. Just throw it at me, all sorts. Now remember, also get onto the website and join us where we have the Mackay Beach Horse Racing Festival giveaway tickets, and the winner will be announced next week on the show. It's a great weekend up there during August the 15th to the 18th. So go to the website www.blinkersoff.com.au to enter the competition. As well, for our Melbourne viewers, we have tickets to give away for next week's race at Flemington there. We have 4 double passes. So also, and to win those tickets, answer this question. What were the name of the 3 Caloundra Cups that Larry Cassidy won on? So send us an email at info@blinkersoff.com.au for your chance to win a double pass to Flemington races next weekend. Now we're going to get into it. Race 6, and Ben, it's a very, very open and tricky sort of looking race here.
Well, I hope not, because I've got it down to, I think, 3 main chances.
Yep.
I've gone for number 1 here, Sons of God. It's going to be up near the lead. I'm hoping that the track is not going to disfavour that kind of horse, and I thought the distance was really good for Sons of God. I put number 2 by Monarchy in. I'm hoping the track's only dead, but it could be between dead and slow. I think By Monarchy goes better on a better track, and also By Monarchy, it'll come down the middle of the track, down the crown, which is often very much suited at Caloundra, for those sort of horses. So I'm trying to cover my bases here by having a leader there and a horse who comes from behind. And the track specialist here, number 4, Mashani Warrior.
Yep.
Like, it's 2 out of 2 at this track, and I think it really matters. Horses for courses is not just a cliche, it's based around truth. And I put a roughie in here for 4th, number 15 here, All My Angels.
Yep.
It also likes the track. So I'm hoping that it's going to be one of those for the first leg of the quaddie, 6, 2, 4 or 15.
Now, Larry, are you riding in the race?
No, I don't have a ride, Jess. If I was riding the race, I think I'd probably like to ride My Quilter with Dee Brown aboard. He's trained on the track, and no one rides Caloundra better than Damon Brown. So he's a horse that sort of promised plenty. He has won last start, did win an easier class race, but has always looked like it's going to promise something, and hopefully Saturday would be the day.
Now, when you go through the form, do you do the selections for your rides in particular, or do you have a manager that does that?
No, I do speed form. I think speed form in a race is very important. You need to know where other horses are going to be, as well as where yourself is going to be. Like in a race where there's 5 leaders and your horse is a leader and can take a sit, you need to be able to know that you're going to take a sit because the others are going to go too fast and you're going to have the drop on them. So I think speed form for myself is more important than anything.
Now, I've done the speed form for this race, and I like number 3, Keep It Moist. Barrier 8, Grant Cooksley on board. I think this horse will be very competitive. It's had 3 starts at the track for a first and a third, and it's had 3 starts at the distance for a first and a third. It hasn't had a run for 6 weeks. It does go well fresh, and after a 6-week sort of let up, this horse will be very competitive. Number 2, By Monarchy, number 1, Sons of God, and number 5, Preacher Boy to run the placings. But I think 3 is quite a good each way bet. I think you'll have a few dollars each way, and I'm sure you'll end up in front, at least get a return. Now, during the week, I was at PBL Floats, and there I was caught up with the manager there, and we discussed and took a look at how floats are made. A very interesting article here. Here I am at PBL Floats. Joining me on the show is manager of PBL Floats, Tony Bailey, and welcome to the show, Tony.
Thank you, Jess.
Mate, now, you're the manager here at PBL Floats, and you make one of the most well-respected floats on the market. Can you just run us through the process of how you make these floats?
Well, the most important thing, they are made here on our site, from start to finish. Processes, raw material gets cut into different shapes and sizes, depending on the float. From there, we have fabricators who weld the main chassis, then fit roofs, walls. We do it all here, so it's all welding process. From there, it goes out to our pre-painting area, where we clean, seal, and prepare the horse float for painting. That's the most important area, where it gets rid of little imperfections through the manufacturing side. From there, it heads into our spray booth, where we etch prime the float, and it's painted with a 2-pack automotive paint. From there, it is baked. Depending on the weather outside, it's baked for a while. And once that's all done, it heads to our fit out area. That's where we've got a team of guys who put the float together. It now becomes your float. You start seeing your float, from padding to the flooring to the roof, all the wiring, all the electrical work. And that's pretty well the process, short and sweet. Once that's done, we have a sign writer who comes along and finishes it off with custom scrolling if required, or your traditional 2-inch and 1-inch stripes. And there's your float completed.
We were just in the baking room. What temperature is it?
It gets up to around about 42, I believe, and they bake for around about 30 minutes, depending on the humidity and the weather outside, which is very important.
So high humidity is good
Bakes
or bad?
more.
Oh.
High humidity is bad. We need to bake it more to ensure it's dry by the time it comes out. It's very important.
How long would it take to put this float together?
Believe it or not, it could be all over in a day, from start to finish. But of course, it doesn't happen like that. It goes through a procedure. We're going to build 3-4 floats every day, and you just slowly tick, tick, tock. So if you order a float today, being a Friday, you can pick it up the following Friday if you needed to.
And just for the viewers at home, it only can be built in a day, because how many workers do you employ here? And you are 100% Australian owned.
We are 100%. Everything's manufactured again here on site at Brendale. We have 30 to 40 people on site, dedicated to be 15 horse float orientated people.
So you employ about 15 people full time?
For the horse float part of the industry, yes.
Geez, that's amazing. Now, do you have any racehorses yourself?
No. They cost too much money. But I don't mind a good tip every so often.
Well,
So what do you got, Jess?
Oh, we got one coming up for you this weekend, that's for sure. So stay tuned.
07 3881 2121. And of course, we're on the www.pbltrailers.com.au.
There you have it. Well, Tony, thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for your time. Have a great weekend, everybody.
It was great catching up with Tony Bailey there at PBL Floats. Now remember, if you do want to float, just give Tony a call there at PBL. They'll cater for all your needs, any extensions, any size that they can cater for that. And remember, it's all Australian made it here up in Queensland there in Brisbane. Now let's look at race 7 over the 1400, an open sort of race. Again, it's a very tricky sort of meeting. Ben, have you come up with anything here?
Well, I must admit, I did struggle here. Look, I ended up going for number 13 someday. I haven't really been backing it of late, but its run last weekend I thought was almost bizarre. The way it went forward, went back, went the middle, and then came home again.
Yeah.
It was odd. So if horses are coming down the middle of the track, which they should be, it's drawn to do just that. So maybe number 1 Beltone, got 59 kilos, but
big ask.
It is, but against these, it is still probably the best horse in the race, and it has won here before.
Yeah, definitely the
like
best
it won
horse
this
in the
race last year. So I put it in for second. And number 15 here, Tax Evader. Could be nice odds, but probably I'd say 14 to 1, something like that. It's proven at the track. And number 16 here, Bereft. Here's my little bit of Roman satire for you. Not bereft of something left, for time and fate to torment. Farewell, old Rome, old home. Larry, you're riding Bereft, former Snowden horse, I believe. What do you think of it?
Yeah, I seen his run the other day, Ben, in Sydney. He raced last Saturday in Sydney, and now David Aitkins trains him. His run last week was pretty good in a benchmark race. I think he got beat about 3.5 lengths, and he hadn't raced for a month leading up to that, so he would have taken good benefit. And you know, David, he's a very good trainer and very astute judge, and he wouldn't be bringing him all this way just to make up numbers. So I think he's got a chance.
That's definitely an indication that he's come from Broadmeadows to bring this horse here. It's a definite indication that it's going to be competitive in the race.
Yeah, most definitely, Jess.
Now, I like number 6, Morning Captain. I've been waiting for this horse to draw a barrier. It is the grey from the Dowdy stable. She's got loads of greys in this horse, but this horse does have a lot of potential. It's weighted up to his best, 56.5 for the race. He's got barrier 11. I'd like to have seen him drawn a bit inside, about 6 or 5, but look, I think this horse this is the race for him. They've been waiting for a decent barrier. It's not the best, but I think this horse has a little bit of ability, a bit better than average, 56.5. He's up to his best, but with Jimmy Byrne in the saddle, he's fit as a fiddle. I saw him work during the week. He was very impressive, and I'm putting him on top. I like him as a good each way bet at good odds. Morning Captain from number 8, Jet Set Lad. And then there's a few down the bottom there I like. Numbers 15, Tax Evader, Stephen Baster on board, and number 14, Pellegrini. I think they're a few at longer odds. So 6, 8, 14 and 15. Now, I was over in Ireland and I caught up and I saw a funny piece that went on over there, a bit of shenanigans at the Irish races, and we're just going to take a look at a bit of shenanigans and what goes on at the Irish races.
Of course, the weight is a huge problem.
Weight is a big problem for a lot of lads. I'm lucky enough to get away with that.
And is it important that somebody comes from a racing background to... I don't know what's happened here. Paul, I think your horse is gone, Paul.
Hey, come here. Hey, grab my horse. He's not getting rid of it.
And this girl, scantily dressed, is making her way out onto the race course. Paul and Davy Condon are in pursuit. Absolute disbelief here amongst the fans as this horse has gone right down the track. I've never seen anything like this on a race course before. The lady rider has now been removed by the security man. Paul Carberry looks along astonished. And no doubt there will be a lengthy steward's inquiry after this amazing event.
There's a good bit of shenanigans going on, and Larry, if you were riding here, you probably would have got booked for not wearing a skull cap.
Yeah, or a vest.
It's a shame. She sat on all right, Ben. She was pretty handy in the irons.
Which is quite cute, actually.
With the black skirt. All right, there's a bit of fun there up in Ireland. If you ever get up to Ireland, get out to Naas or Galway, it's great racing, or Leopardstown. They're great tracks, and it's well worth visiting Ireland for a holiday. Now it's race 8, the Caloundra Cup. Larry, you've won this race 3 times, as mentioned at the start of the program. You have a ride. You're riding Verdant. He does look to be a rough hope.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said earlier, he travelled well last week in the Tats Cup, and I thought he was going to win coming to the turn, but he just lacked that little bit of finish that you'd like to see. He didn't get beat that far, and hopefully the track will be on the improve, because I think he's probably looking for a better track. And I think
Hoping to get it tomorrow.
Yeah, look. The track up there doesn't dry. They've got it a slow 7. Look, I think at best you're looking at a real genuine dead 5.
Now, Ben, what do you like here?
Well, I think Shenzhou Steeds. I mean, its run last start was very good. It's 3 out of 3 at this track. To me, it's been set for this race all along, and its preparation has been absolutely spot on. I've got to go for it.
Yeah, it does look hard to beat.
Number 2, Rathera. Look, cost me an absolute fortune last start. And why McMahon rode that horse 3 wide's beyond me. My speed map had it back 8th or 9th, sitting very quietly. He decides to go up there and sit 3 wide and cost me an absolute fortune. I'm not happy with you, Ricky. Seriously, I'm furious.
Man, I was inside him, and Rick wasn't too happy with me, because I actually kept him 3 wide. He thought I should have pulled back and let him in, but there was no
Turn
way
away,
of doing
cameras.
Well, there you have it, Shenzhou, Ricky. You'll get in now.
Number 7, Verdant. Now, I thought it might be an improver. Do you reckon that there was improvement in this horse to actually go on with it here?
Yeah, look, I hope so. And
Did you
and
feel it though? Did you feel it?
Well, I was slightly disappointed. The stable thinks he can improve though.
Oh, good. Because I thought it could, and I've got it in for third.
You think he'd be better suited over a longer distance? Like the 2500
Yeah,
will
look,
suit him better?
yeah,
more
there
of a
should be
grinder?
no reason. He's an English staying horse, so there should be no reason why the mile and a half. Like he travelled really good on the turn, but I did push to get to the outside, which made him come off the bit quicker. So maybe that interrupted him a little bit.
Maybe he's one of those English style type of horses you need to
Just-
really wind up from the 800 or something.
Yeah, or sort of travel and just slowly come off the bridle and hit his top, which he wasn't able to do last week.
All right, now, so what rounded up, Ben?
Yeah, I put number 8 in, High Ken for fourth. I thought it ran home reasonably well at Ipswich.
I like 4 Zenista here. Looks to be well placed. Barrier 2, loves the track, loves the distance. As Larry mentioned, Damien Brown rides this track better, as good as well as any other jockey in the country. From number 5, Ben's selection, Shenzhou Seeds from 1 Vola Itchy, who was disappointing, I thought, in the Ipswich Cup, but maybe he just might be ready to turn it around. Nah, sack him. Yeah, well, maybe sack him. And number 2, Rathira, in for 4, so 4, 5, 1 and 2. Now we're going to go to a commercial, and straight after the break, we're into it. We're at Sports Talk. All right, it's that time of the show again. We're at Sports Talk, the most controversial part of the show, controversial corner. Let's get into it with Ben. Ben, the Wallabies put up quite a good effort on the during the week.
Mate, if Robbie Deans had picked the right side, they would have won.
Who would have they picked?
Well, for a start, they needed Cooper at 10. They didn't have him there. But O'Connor's not a 10. He doesn't play 10 for the Rebels very well. He's hopeless. He runs across field and just shovels the ball off to anybody when he can't get through a gap. They should have played... When
Lau played well?
Falau was
He
sensational.
wasn't he?
But Beale, when Barnes went off, they should have put Beale to 10, Falau to fullback, and O'Connor to the wing. That would have been a really good back line.
Maybe the kicker should have got some decent studs in his boots.
Well, it must have been, the goal kicking was just...
Imagine if that was a Bledisloe Cup.
No.
Now, will Watson lose the Brownlow medal?
Mate, he's in big trouble, I'm telling you. Like, from what Mr. Fay said, the former Premier of New South Wales, in his new position, he's gone, and Essendon are gone as well. It's terribly sad.
Will Eade go to Melbourne and will Williams go to Collingwood?
Say what?
Will Rodney Eade go to Melbourne?
No.
Will Mark Williams end up at Collingwood?
I'd love him to. Mark Williams has always had the dream in his life of coaching Collingwood.
Yeah, so maybe it'll be a rough hope.
1,000,000 to 1, I think he's better chance for Melbourne.
Souths are favourites on Tats, bet 375. Everything's subject to changes, but are they worthy favourites for the flag?
They are indeed, because they got Inglis and they got Reynolds, they got Slatter.
And tell me this, can Freo win the flag?
Sattler.
Freo,
no, I don't like Fremantle at all.
But
they got the Prince of Darkness coaching them, and I'm telling you, they will not be winning the grand final until they play the game at night, because that's when the Prince of Darkness really comes out.
And tell me this, one other thing, when is the next time Australia will win the Bledisloe Cup?
2 years?
2 years. Jeez. Larry?
All I seen was the All Blacks doing the haka, and that's enough to scare Australians.
Please.
They were sensational in the haka.
No, that's not true. The Wallabies aren't scared of the haka, mate.
All right, let's get into it. It's race 9, the Sunshine Coast Guineas over the mile. Ben, what have you come up with?
The best form horse here is Lucky Hustler. It'll come into gate probably 18. I spoke to the track man today. He said that should be okay for it. It's got the form behind Academics. It was a huge run last night. He used it up and it just kept coming. Like, that's the best form in the race by
If it's
street.
drawn 21, Larry, if you're drawn 21 over the mile at the coast, is it that much of a disadvantage?
Look, it's still a difficult draw, even though it's a great run from the mile start there at Caloundra and a big roomy track when the rail's going to be in normal position. But it's a sort of race that you still want to draw close, because you're going to either have to come too far back or use a bit of petrol. I've drawn out there with him, and my horse is probably the next best, has the next best form in the race, Eximus, because he only just narrowly got beaten by Academus in that same race. So 2 best form horses in the race, both drawn nearly the car park.
He's probably looking for a bit of a firmer surface too. He seems to sort of just flounder a little bit when it's a bit worse than dead.
Yeah, probably, yes.
Yeah, Ben?
Well, I actually put in number 12 here, Hard Ticker. I thought this horse might be on the up a little bit, and it'll be double figure odds.
That's what Melbourne need, a bit of hard ticker.
Well, they need more than that.
The Wallabies need a bit of hard ticker.
No, easy now, easy. Don't knock Australia. Australia's got plenty of ticker. Just got a rubbish coach, that's all. If they win, they're going to win in spite of the New Zealander, not for him. Number 19 here, Dowdy. This horse is fit. It beat Hard Ticker by 1.8 lengths last start. So, it's improving. Number 13, Casino Card, was very kind to us last start.
I got a little story about Dowdy. Win. He was purchased for $600 as a discard from Paternak in the Magic Million sale. $600, and he's since won 3 races and $24,000. Little fact about Dowdy. And the only reason that Kelly bought it was because it was called Dowdy. So $600 in a $24,000. So viewers, there is hope in the racing industry. It's the dream. Now myself, I like number 5 here. Like Ben mentioned, Lucky Hustler. It has drawn wide. It's out of gate 21. Damien Brown on board. I think this horse has got the best form in the race. As Larry mentioned, Eximus has good form. I think Dances on Stars is going to be the one to beat, the second hardest to beat. It did vetted post-revealing. It suffered a mild case of the thumps after its last run. It could be a bit of a query, but if this horse runs up to its form, it'll be there without a doubt. Barry 9, Hammersley and Ryan, they're a great combination when they get together. Number 6, he's a jet setter. He will be flying home, again drawn wide, but come the later on in the day, the better going might be out wide on the tracks. And number 7, General Groove for 4. So I've gone 5, 2, 6 and 7. Now it's time for the Jockey Challenge, and we're down to the last finalist for the heat in the challenge with Ryan Wiggins. We see him running and dashing around on the 4 wheels in the Dash for Cash, in the Need for Speed, in the Jockey Challenge. And we'll see where Ryan ends up, and we'll see the final grid in the Jockey Challenge. Here is Ryan Wiggins in the Jockey Challenge. All right, join us next week for the final in the Need for Speed. And Larry, Ryan Wiggins, he's top of the leaderboard.
Yeah, he absolutely burnt the track up out there, and he overtook Rick McMahon. And they go to the back of the grid for the final. It's going to be hard from there.
Now, tell me, what is your best ride for the day?
My best would be the last race in the Guineas, Eximus.
Ben, your best bet?
Each way, Shenzhou Steeds will run a place and probably win.
Mine, I like Keep It Moist as well. I like one that won during the week from the Mick Price stable, Tango's Daughter. It's being set for the Group 1000 Guineas. Keep an eye on it. And congratulations to Kennewell for Ryalla from the Adelaide camp there. Well done. Now that brings us to an end of the second last show of this season of Blink Us Off. And join us next week where we're going to have the final of the Jockey Challenge. So see you next week, same place, same time, and bye for now.